This is absolutely incredible feeling, and I want to share with you this journey.
You know, he's always been sick of the scam artists and the thieves in his industry, and so he makes videos to try to out them.
What keeps most men civilized is the fact that some men are willing to be uncivilized.
Не опускай голову, не опускай! Он тебя прессингует, у тебя больше здоровья!
Always had a smile on his face. The harder the training, the more he liked it, so.
What do I do? Coach, tell me what I do. Shane, what do I do?
I hope Dimitri wins. He has welcomed me and has been so kind to me.
It was amazing. I gave it all my best. God gave me victory tonight. Amazing experience, amazing journey.
This is who I am. This is my personality. No one can touch me. No one can touch you. Stand up for yourself. For about 10 years, I have this one item on my bucket list to have cage fight, a real cage fight for the experience, to see how I would feel when people watch you go box, MMA, fight, whatever, wrestle with another man.
He reached out to Element Gym in the Twin Cities, and he contacted one of our strength and conditioning coaches, Coach Q, 6'8", previous basketball player, and told him the situation. He was like, I know I got a guy that can get you ready in any amount of time, which is a little overselling my ability. I need a little bit more time than any amount of time. But yeah, he texted me, he called me. You know, I get a lot of those calls like, hey, I want to fight, or I have a fight coming up. But he was like, let's start 7 a.m. tomorrow. And he was there the very next day. So it was just a quick phone chat.
Lipinski versus Haight, followed by Cuevas versus Bick.
Please face forward. That's good. Thank you.
One of the first things he told me, he came up to me and he was like, I'm king of memes. And he showed me some memes that he had made. And again, being from Alabama, I don't know a lot of Russian people. So you think they're gonna be very like stoic or something, but he was like, I'm the king of memes. And he's just like, he just wants to have like laughter. He wants to share with you. He wanted to just kind of share.
If you're a man, if you ever watch Rocky movie, Creed, any sports movie, you probably know the feeling. You probably have been curious or motivated or inspired by their story and how they train. We all have it in us, and I wanted to experience it. And I did, but it did not go as planned. I won the fight and I stood up to the bully. I got perfect opportunity for a cage fight, fighting someone who actually wanted to fight me, fighting someone who were threatening me to come to my house and beat me up in front of my kids.
I'm coming for the motherfucking goods. I'm taking your shit, your people, your fucking hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your clients. Because I'm coming for all of them. Everything. I'm coming for your life. I'm coming for your soul.
Someone who was very aggressive, in my face, wanted to fight me for over 3 years, and I finally said, let's do it. This is the story, how I stood up to the bully. I'm gonna share how I felt prior to the fight, how I felt during the fight, and what the aftermath looks like, how I feel now. This is absolutely incredible feeling, and I want to share with you this journey. Let's go. I grew up in Siberia, and I did have a lot of fights on the streets. In 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, every year I was fighting with someone. I had one guy who I fought 2 times, but in 11th grade, I got broken. For the first time in my life, I've been surrounded by 5 guys. They broke my nose. They told me that I have to bring them money. They told me that, they're gonna be punishing me for the next, for the rest of the school year. And I never felt worse in my life. My dignity, my manhood, I was just broken. I will never forget that moment. I will never forget how it felt being bullied and not being able to stand up to the bully. I wish I would fought. I wish, I acted differently. It stays with you for the rest of your life.
And then I started working with him and his family pretty early on too, on some extra days. So seeing him with his kids was really interesting. He loves being a father, and he's kind of like what I grew up with. He's a father. It's like morning push-ups, morning jump rope, morning workout with me. He wants to be part of their, like, not just their school lives, but their daily lives and their activities. And it's just really good to see that kind of person in him.
I'm a father of 5 kids. I've been bullied when I was a child in my school, but I'm not going to be bullied anymore. I don't care how big you are. I don't care who you think you are. I'm not afraid of you. And when you bring my family to it, when you start saying you're going to show up at my house, you know what? I'm going to accept the challenge and I will fight you.
I'll be in Minnesota in like 2 weeks. I'm bringing the gloves. I'm going to show up at your office. I'll fight in your backyard. I'll come to your backyard. Literally, we'll fight in your backyard in front of your kids.
I will protect myself. I will protect my kids. I will protect my dignity and my man. Like, I will not let you bully me just because you don't like that people called you a liar when you lied.
Where he came from, before we even started training, he wanted to basically give me the context of why he's fighting, which was really important because, like you said, I don't know what I'm meeting with. And if I'm meeting with an athlete who just wants to fight for no reason, like I signed up for an event and I want to fight, I'd probably say no, but hearing the context of why he's competing and why he feels like he needs to stand up for himself was important to make me feel more comfortable with the process.
Like, I had absolutely zero experience. I have Shane, who was preparing me for the majority of this fight. My feet hurted so much for the first 3 months, I could not explain what's happening with my feet.
But in the ring, he's extremely focused, and unlike a lot of athletes I've worked with, even in his age group or younger, who don't know their bodies very well, he knows his body really well from his CrossFit training. So when we're in the ring, he can communicate, hey, my heart rate's spiking, I need to take a second, I've lost control. Or, this morning my legs feel really wrecked, can we do something else? And they're not requests to get out of work, they're requests to work smarter, and that's what I love that in a good athlete. Being that we only had 4 months, I couldn't do what I normally do, where I spend 2-3 months on footwork and then 2-3 months on simple defense. I kind of had to run him through things that I thought were going to be necessary for this fight. So we streamlined the process. We kept his footwork simple, circling and sitting in his stance. We kept his punches simple. We kept his counters simple. When sparring started, it was a rough start. I mean, being 40 years old and never having been seriously punched before comes with a lot of reactions and head turning and hand throwing up. But he was willing to continue working through the process over and over again. While kind of getting beat up on by 23-year-old amateur fighters who are bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, younger than you, more experienced than you. It's a really easy way to just never come back. But he always had a smile on his face. The harder the training, the more he liked it. So,
like when you go in the ring, boxers do, touch gloves and stuff. And my coach told me, you don't touch that guy. From now forward, first time you touch him, it's gonna be jab. First of all, I cannot shake hands to this person anymore. When he came to me at Expo in Orlando, I shook hand, and I want to explain that moment. He's actually asking me, oh, you want to shake hands now? The reason I shake his hand at the Expo, because I was trying to avoid conflict. Fighting him at the Expo, we're two public figures in a roofing industry, people looking up to us. That was dumb, that was stupid decisions. You don't act like that.
Right now, we are just a couple hours away from fight night right now. You can feel it right now in the air. The anticipation is building, everyone. In just a couple hours, we're gonna have Dmitry Lipinski, Lee Haight, joining us right here in this ring. People are filtering in. It's gonna be one hell of a night. Stay tuned. I want to ask you about that. You said on your show when someone steps in the ring with you, you have a new level of respect for him. Yeah. Well, you think that'll be the case here, win or lose, draw?
But he's played a victim narrative in all this. He's the one who started it, calling me a Ponzi scheme, calling me fake guru. I've had your back. I've helped you, haven't I?
We've worked together, man, yes.
Nah, bro.
We work together.
I don't know Lee personally, so I'm not going to speak on that. But just the things that he's reported and all the evidence that, he's always willing to show evidence. It just seems like, he's always been sick of the scam artists and the thieves in his industry. And so he makes videos to try to out them. And when this guy, rather than coming back with some sort of evidence of his own, he just decided to basically spit on Dimitri verbally and through the internet. He was really like taken back. And he wanted to stand up, not just for himself, but for the community of people who are sick of scam artists, which is very popular right now on social media.
During this beef, me calling him out before the fight, I became friends with his family. In his videos he gives a lot of credit to Marty Haight. It's his uncle. And he's claiming essentially his success. So when he's selling $60,000 courses, he tells everyone how his family did $1 billion in business, this and that. It's a very sad and tragic story because Marty Haight passed away, and essentially Lee Haight and his dad, they keep going and they build a company. They never built a company as successful as Marty Haight was, but they never helped the family. They never helped the widow, the girls, his cousins, and I became friends with them. So before the fight, I reached out to Tina Haight and Hannah Haight. Tina Haight is his aunt and Hannah Haight is his cousin essentially. And I invited them and say, hey, can I fly you in? It would be my honor if you would be at my table. And Hannah Haight came in and she said, I would love to do that.
I really don't know what's gonna happen, but I hope everybody has fun. I hope Dimitri wins. He has welcomed me and has been so kind to me. And I have a lot of faith in him.
Okay.
My team is on different level. His team is angry, mad. My team is very classic, very polite. They all support me. They all want me to win. But his team was like everybody who attended the fight said, guys, those tables are nasty. They were very nasty, and like, it's okay to root for your guy. It's okay to boo another person, but you still have to have a class doing that. They did not have any class.
I was there all the way through, before fight, during fight, and after fight. The weigh-in, oh my God, that was crazy. The way that I noticed, me knowing Dimitri very personally, he was calm. He was ready just to focus on the fight. One, Lee Haight was like very aggressive, very mad. Oh, I came here bully. He elbows him. I looked at him and I started laughing with that. Like, that's a joke. You actually made it a joke.
Everybody's asking how I could stay collected like that, why I was not afraid. I saw a man who lacked confidence. I did not see confident man in his eyes, in his behavior, in the loud mouth, all of that. They did not do anything to me. He wanted me to be mad. I trusted my training. I know who I am.
KO, second round. He has great punch, strong punch. I think he will knock him out in second round.
I think they'll fight a little bit in the first round, kind of feel each other out. And I think the second round it'll really go down.
A lot of people in here, maybe hundreds if not 1,000 for the roofing industry.
Yeah.
Good or bad for roofing that these guys are doing this here today?
I think it's good. I mean, it promotes our industry, So,
what about the people who can't make it? What's the atmosphere like in here? I feel like you can cut the tension.
Yeah, absolutely. It's electric.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
All right, great fight.
Hell yeah.
I think his biggest strength is his speed. He's a very athletic guy. And in fights early on, when people don't have a lot of experience, athleticism matters a lot. It matters a lot less later in fighting. So I would say his biggest advantage is athleticism and the way he knows how to use it. He doesn't like throw a bunch of bad punches, but he knows how to use his speed and technique together. Another huge advantage for him is his realistic outlook on this. Obviously, as the coach, we don't want to talk about potentially losing, but for him, he's keeping in context like, this is my first fight. I only had 4 months of training. That sometimes sounds like a negative to people, to kind of keep yourself in reality, but it's important for a fighter to see everything as a possibility. You can't go in the ring and say, no one can beat me, I can't be knocked out. That's just silly. You have to look at it as a whole picture. Everything's a possibility. Every variable could happen. And that's the thing that he walks into very wide open, and I think that's a great advantage. Disadvantage, again, is just time. You know, he's got 40 years of no boxing and 4 months of boxing. It's a tough thing to do, but he's definitely ready.
Our plan was actually to let him go for the first minute or so. We knew he's gonna come in hot. We've seen his fights. I understand his temper. And our goal was, my coach taught me, is like, Dmitry, you're not gonna feel those punches. You're a strong guy, you're a bigger athlete. Just protect, let him beat you.
It's about to go down. My Russian coach, my American coach.
I'm his life coach.
Oh, life coach, my emotional support. See, with this guy, I cannot be stressed. I have to smile. It's probably not good for the fight either. I have to find a balance between angry Dmitry, smiley Dmitry, and cold blood killer Dmitry.
You know, I don't know if I'd always call it a strength, but he's very aggressive. He's going to start the fight probably super aggressive. On the spectrum of where I want people to start a fight, aggressive is better than not at all. Some people come out and they get super hesitant. So Lee will throw. It doesn't always go his way, but Lee will bite his mouthpiece and throw, and that is sometimes an advantage. I said disadvantage, probably his comfortability. You know, I don't want to guess, but it seems like from the videos I've seen, the sparring I've seen, and the coaching I've seen, it seems like he's paying people to keep him comfortable. You know, if sparring gets tough, he just throws his hands up and everyone steps back and lets him take as much time as he needs. And Dmitry definitely didn't get any of that. If he would try to take a break, I'd punch him in the stomach and I would tell him to get back in there. You don't get to choose those kind of things for yourself.
I lost the first round completely, but I was not hurt. Not a single punch besides my nose was discomforting. You know, nose was bleeding, but I was not in pain.
If he has any doubt about it, you know, he's been asking questions. What do we do if he does this? Stick to your training. You know, what if he does this? Stick to your training. My biggest mentality is getting him to trust that I've prepared him in the best way possible. Because that can be the hard part with fighters. If they start to question how they've prepared, they start trying to change things 7 days before a fight or 7 hours before a fight, that can get really dangerous. So our game plan is to stick to our training, be long behind our jab, work the body, simple covers. I'm not looking for him to be Floyd out there with his head movement, you know, block the punches, counter, catch counter type thing.
I've seen every jab that he throws, I saw it. It wasn't like it was super fast and he was super good. I knew better to duck here. I knew how to block. But over there, just because it's your first fight, you have to be realistic. Your training goes out of the window. I could not explain to you later why I did not protect myself. Everybody's asking, like, raise your hands, why did you not do it? I don't know. In sparrings I did, lack of training. So I have a big nose and I decided to stop his punches with this nose. Like, all right, I can take your hits.
Не опускай голову, не опускай. Он тебя прессингует, у тебя больше здоровья. Толкай его, пихай. Понял?
That was exactly what we expected. A lot of punches right away. Now slow it down and find your technique. Say that for me. No, find your technique. It's hittable. When you hit him, it hurts. He's just worked a minute right now.
I look at myself at the 1 minute break after the first fight. I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I'm focused on my coaches because I was hungry for knowledge. I'm like, what do I do? Coach, tell me what I do. Shane, what do I do? Like, you can see me. When you review the tape, you can see me that I'm focused and I'm listening. I'm not in fear. I'm not lost. I'm present and I'm trying to come up with a plan.
I think if Lee comes out and spazzes early, he's probably going to get finished early, I assume, just because Dmitry's very strong and he hits very hard. And we've been working hard on him just shelling up and just throwing the hook or throwing the uppercut, nothing crazy.
I think it's a lose-lose situation. Whoever loses, I think it's going to be bad for him. But this is my gut feeling. I think the Russian strength somehow going to pull it off. I think he's going to catch him with a no-looker haymaker, and I think it's just going to get him.
All right.
My personal opinion.
I want to know from you, you're joining this, you're supporting this, is this good for the industry? As somebody who's been a part of this, what are your thoughts?
So my personal opinion, man, I think it's beautiful for the industry because a lot of guys talk. And our industry is big. Everybody talk. So I respect Dimitri and Lee for not only talking, but showing up and being like, I could back up my talk, whether that's win or lose or draw. But a lot of these cats, keyboard warriors, say what they want to say, and when they see you, they dismissing it. It wasn't that big of a deal. So I do respect the fact that both of these men standing on their word, signing the paperwork, and they showing up to fight. So I think it's good for the industry. Why? Because the people that's putting on this event, now they're like, the roofing industry? Yep. What? So it's getting us new eyes that we didn't have. And who knows, somebody in this room, man, might hear about us and might join this industry and change their life. So I think it's a good opportunity, in my personal opinion.
I would say I'd want them to know two things, which is the amount of dedication, which that word can get thrown around all the time, dedication. But, what does that actually mean? And it means hours in the gym. Hours in the gym when you'd rather be with your friends, hours in the gym when you'd rather be with your family, hours in the gym doing boring things, and also being the worst at something, which a lot of us don't remember what that feels like because we stopped gaining skills probably after high school or college. But for Dimitri to walk into a gym at 40 and be willing to be the worst one there, that takes a strong mind. And then the other thing would be head trauma. I don't think enough people talk about head trauma. As a lifelong competitor and combat athlete, I'm over it. Whatever happens to my head happens to my head. I'm ready for the consequences of my lifestyle. But if you walk into this thinking that nothing's going to happen, like you're going to be 55, 60, 70, slowed speech, maybe the motor functions going out the window, potentially things like Parkinson's could happen to you, MS. Head trauma is very real. Every time you get bounced in the head, there's an amount of swelling that happens, and that swelling is forever changing the chemical reactions in your brain. So you have to know what you're doing.
From years of CrossFit experience, people mock me. It's like, oh, Dimitri, your CrossFit is not going to help you. It helps a lot. It helps a ton. You know your body. You know your recovery. You recover fast. I was renewed after just 1 minute, and I'm listening to my coach, and he's like, you raise this up, and you keep hitting too. It's hurting. It's working. Keep doing it.
I know you're feeling shit, but he's feeling it way more. You are doing this. Keep this fucking hand as tight as you can. Get it, and throw this one like you mean that
Right
shit.
straight, always.
This in his fucking head.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good fight. I know they both have a lot of animosity towards each other. I think it's going to be a way to end it all and get it all and shake hands at the end of the day. As far as outcomes concerned, I think they both have the cardio, but I think skill-wise, I think it's going to be Lee taking it home.
Fair enough.
So, if you watch all the twos that I got, first, second, and third round, it's probably like 10, 15 of them, like solid punches. And at the end, like when you see the person goes snapping his neck and falling into the net, and then, he's coming back, he's getting more, but you can see he's wobbly.
Yeah, I think it's going to go the distance. I think there's going to be good shots on both sides. I think it's going to go to a judge's decision. I don't know who's going to get it.
Got it. What do you think, Justin?
Hey, I'm always going for a knockout. Go big or go home. And I don't really know either of them that well, so I'm just going for the underdog. I'm hoping Dimitri KOs Lee.
All right, going for the underdog. Final question for you both, okay? You both have quite the following within the roofing community. There have been people that have said this is absolutely terrible. Others think it's great stuff. Yep. Where do you fall in this and two guys getting together, throwing punches to see what happens?
Yes. I don't think anybody should ever attack anybody that doesn't want to participate in a fight. But listen, what keeps most men civilized is the fact that some men are willing to be uncivilized. That's what keeps people in line. It's the system of structure of government from the top down to the bottom. Sometimes it needs to happen. I like it when men are willing to step in and make it happen.
I think that the industry needs to stop judging everybody and let people be people. People are going to make mistakes, and look, for Dimitri, I guess Lee made a mistake and crossed the line. And so, that's the point where so many people can talk smack and not enough people are getting hit in the face. So I'm a big believer for getting punched in the mouth in the right way. So I don't want to have violence, but the thing is, there's a lot of keyboard warriors, and I just think it's awesome. And so the industry, if they hate it, don't watch it.
Dimitri's going to take it all the way. That's my guy. He's going to win.
If you watch the final seconds, some people can say he fell down, it was controversial. It was a gift from God to me because I got all 3 rounds and I got TKO 1 second before. It was like a perfect scenario. But what I saw, I'm standing by him, ready to punch again, and he is barely standing. It was an awesome call. Nobody had to die there. But if he would say go, I would just go 1-2 because I knew it was seconds left. I knew I have a couple more shots in me, and he was already barely standing.
Again, with Dimitri, I respect a lot that he's kept an open eye to everything, and he's not only does he look to win, but he wants to perform well and show people that he took it seriously because he respects how hard boxers work, where you see some of the influencer fights and it looks like no one even thought to train. They just showed up and kind of laughed it off. And not only is it embarrassing for yourself and for whatever guy is calling himself your coach, but it's a bad fight to watch. It sucks for everyone that paid money for it.
I think Dimitri's trained harder. I know Lee has 5 years of training, but Dimitri has so much determination and dedication. I think he's gonna come out winning. I think it's gonna be a good fight.
Oh man, I hate to make a prediction. I can tell you who I'm rooting for.
Well, tell me what you think's gonna happen.
Lee. No, just kidding. Dimitri all the way. I really do think he is the underdog, which is just tough because I didn't think that kind of coming up to it, but it's just like people talking about all that experience and how important that experience is and the arm length. So I'm rooting for him, and I'm gonna have to predict Dimitri's gonna win, but I think it's gonna be an emotional one, and I think it's gonna be because good will prevail.
We're about 20-30 minutes before the fight. Ivan the champ wrapping Dimitri's hands. Cool moment for him.
I would call it a clean fight. And that was important to me because if he would be nasty, if he would be, show bad behavior, bad sportsmanship there, I would just put a t-shirt, fake Guru Crusher, just to make a statement, I got you. But if there would be good fight, I would do spread love, not hate, much nicer shirt. It still makes a statement, and I wanted to make a statement, but it's a nicer way to end it, like more classy. So Jeremy brings me fake Guru one, and I actually start putting it on, and you can, in that moment, you can actually see that I read the t-shirt, and I told Jeremy, no, give me another shirt. Like I was making decisions, I was very connected to everything around me. I was happy, I was tired, but I'm like, okay, I did this, what's next? I was very calculated. Even t-shirt shows you that.
Hey, thank you to Lee Haight for this opportunity, for helping me train as hard as I did. I had 4 months to prepare for the fight against 5-year-old veteran of the sport. It was amazing. I gave it all my best. God gave me victory tonight. Amazing experience, amazing journey.
But it was important for me to be a bigger man. I came to him, I hugged him, I said, beef settled. I did not want to fight this guy anymore. I wanted to leave everything there. And to be honest with you, I thought that after this fight, he's just gonna pay $60,000 to save his name and we're gonna move on. My advice to everyone, show it with your actions. Be quiet. Quiet is dangerous. Loud is not dangerous. Loud is laughable. If you wanna lose respect, if you want to lose your reputation, run your mouth. But if you want to gain it, delay gratification.
Round number 3, your winner by TKO!
Well, Dimitri, congratulations on competing, the quest of getting the fight and following through. We've been talking a lot about, winning, because that's my job as a coach. But I'm really just proud of where you've put yourself. The presentation being so important to you, the product being so important to you. It doesn't just stay in your roofing, it comes to your boxing. You want to be presentable, you want to show people you can perform, and those are really admirable traits to have in an athlete. So I'm very proud of those two things. And I like our relationship. I like the fact that we can laugh together and enjoy this process. So again, it's been a great trip with you. And if you want to do it again, you know where I am.
I'm proud of my training. I'm proud of my results. This feels great. I defeated the person who was bullying me. I was 40 years old. He was 38 at the time. But the feeling that I have in the ring and before that ring was, it was like, I'm 16 again. someone is bullying me, and I knew that if I don't stand up to this, I will regret it for the rest of my life. Because I remember how it felt in school. I remember one time in my life when someone broke me, when I was afraid to punch back. I did not have a choice not to accept this fight. I'm not saying I'm in the right and he's in the wrong. I've done my fair share in this conflict. In any conflict, there's always two people, but I was not the bully. I stood up for what I believed was right. I called out a liar. I called out a person for his wrongdoings. He could accept it, he could argue with me, but he decided to bully me and he decided to get violent and standed up to that. It was absolutely amazing. It was 16-year-old Dmitry in a 40-year-old man's body doing what I had to do to live the rest of my life with the satisfaction that, hey, this is who I am, this is my personality, no one can touch me, no one can touch you. Stand up for yourself. Bullies have to be stopped. Punched back, and don't be afraid how hard they punch. Truth will always prevail.